What is up, everybody, and welcome to Everything's Plastic. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Hasbro Star Wars Black Series, and this is the Gaming Greats Star Wars Battlefront 2 Umbra Operative Arc Trooper. Wow. I really had to concentrate to say that for some reason, because sometimes words are hard for me. But as always, we'll start by getting a closer look at packaging. So we have the Arc Trooper on the side here. Same image on this side, no image on this side. Just Gaming Greats and Star Wars the Black Series. Nothing on top, barcode and all that good stuff on the bottom. There is a quick read up here. The Umbra Operative Arc Trooper is part of the Infiltrator Reinforcement Unit for Galactic Republic in the action-packed multiplayer game across all three eras, Star Wars Battlefront 2. It's a pretty cool game. I never really played much of the online stuff, but I did play through the story missions, and I thought it was pretty good. I completely forgot to mention that this is actually number 9 in Gaming Greats Star Wars Battlefront 2 series. Other than that, everybody, not much else to say about the Umbra Operative Arc Trooper, so we'll be right back with this one outside of the package to get a closer look. Okay, everybody, we are back, and we have the Umbra Operative Arc Trooper outside of the package. For accessories, he just comes with 2 of these little blasters, which we've seen before. A little bit detail on those, not too bad. Alright, let's get a closer look at the Arc Trooper. Overall, the paint application on this one is pretty decent. Typical Hasbro, though, a lot of times if there's a black plastic base to it, we always see a little bit of black paint showing through. So the body itself is not too bad, but we can see with the head sculpt there, we can see a lot of black showing through there. And certain part of the arms, we can see black showing through as well, especially with hands and stuff like that. The body looked good at first, but when you get a closer look, we can see a lot of black showing through everywhere on this one. But from a distance, this one actually looks fantastic. There is a little rangefinder on top here that comes down, which is pretty cool. Pauldrons on top look pretty cool. I really like that. I like the overall appearance. I love the shape of his helmet as well. On the back here, we have a little backpack or whatever it is. I don't really know much about these, to be completely honest. But that's not removable. This is all one solid piece, and so is the pauldrons. Most of this stuff is all attached to the body. This here is a separate piece, though. This little outer skirt, or whatever you want to call it, part of his suit, which looks awesome in my opinion. Just adds a whole lot more to the overall appearance of this one. There's no extra paint or anything like that. There is tons of detail, though. You can see tons of detail in the overall sculpt of it, but no extra paint, just to add a little bit more to the overall appearance of this one. And we get down to the bottom, and typical Stormtrooper, Clone Trooper body. I don't think there's anything new on this one. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Star Wars Black Series collector. Not because I don't want to. It's just I collect so many lawns, and that's where Jason is nice enough to let me review a lot of his figures. So the overall appearance of this one is fantastic. There's 2 little holsters here that these just kind of slip in, and they slip in pretty snug, so they're not going to fall out once they're in there, which is always good, just in case you place these on your shelves and it falls over or whatever the case may be. Yeah, not going to pop out at all. So let's go over articulation. Like I previously mentioned, this part here is articulated. Say it goes back this far, forward this far. Do have some side, full rotation all the way around. Shoulders are pretty stiff, but do come up this far. There is a rotation there if you want it. Does go all the way around. This here is a softer plastic. Doesn't really restrict articulation. And like I previously mentioned, there is a rotation at the base. I'm trying to figure out if there's a bicep swivel. If it is, no, there's not actually, because you can see the armor there. So no bicep swivel, and I'm guessing single jointed elbows, which bend this far. There is a rotation there as well, and for his wrist, it goes back and forth, and this one should be up and down. Yeah, most Star Wars Black Series are up and down. There you go. There is a ball joint here for the upper body. It goes back this far, forward this far. You do get some side to side, and a full rotation. There's no rotation at the waist or anything like that, so pretty restricted upper body. That being said, it is a Stormtrooper. He is in a suit, so it's kind of to be expected. So doesn't come out to a complete split, only comes out this far, goes forward this far, back this far, so pretty restricted there as well. There is a rotation up here. Doesn't rotate all the way around, but you do get a fair bit of movement out of it. There is single jointed knee, which goes back this far. You do get a swivel there as well. And for the ankle, it goes back this far, forward this far, and you get your full rotation out of the rocker. So yeah, this part here doesn't really restrict articulation a whole lot at all. Looks cool, doesn't restrict articulation. It's all good in my books. 4 is blasters, if you want to pop those in his hands. This one kind of slides in, and there's a little trigger finger there as well. It kind of goes in and keeps it in place. Looks pretty cool. Nice and snug. It's not going to come out. But this side, we can see there that there is no trigger finger. It just kind of just a regular gripping hand, which is kind of weird, especially since it's the same blaster for both sides. So this one does fit in, but it does look weird. But yeah, we'll stay in his hand. It's not going to pop out. It just doesn't look as good as the other side. If you do have them on display from a distance, you're not really going to pick up on that anyways. If you did want to get a X-Acto knife or something like that, kind of cut away at it, maybe you can separate it. It's not as long, so it's not going to grip around the trigger, but it will kind of look a little bit better. Just to do a side-by-side comparison, I'm not going to do a whole lot of comparisons because these are pretty standard anyways, but compared to a regular Stormtrooper, the ARC Trooper is just a tad bit bigger. Now, is this a clone trooper or is it considered a Stormtrooper? I know it's an ARC Trooper, but let me know in the comments below. I can't really remember if it's a clone or if it's considered a Stormtrooper. I know the design of the helmet kind of resembles a clone trooper more as opposed to a Stormtrooper, so let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I'm not really familiar with the Battlefront 2 game. Played the story mission, and that's pretty much all I remember about it. This is definitely one of my favorite Stormtroopers that I have in my collection, and I actually own this one, so that's great. But yeah, he's a pretty standard size for Star Wars Black Series. Most of my Black Series are actually in storage, so I don't have a whole lot out to do comparisons with. So that pretty much wraps up my unboxing and figure review for the Star Wars Black Series Umbra Operative ARC Trooper. Wow, I actually said it without messing up. Fantastic. So out of 10, I'm going to give this guy a 8.5 out of 10. The paint application on this one is super messy. The articulation is pretty restricted. The hand is actually messed up. Doesn't wrap around. It's not a proper trigger finger, which is kind of weird. We don't have a whole lot of accessories with this one either. Just two blasters. That's pretty much it. But the overall appearance of this one, especially from a distance, looks fantastic. So I think an 8.5 out of 10 is a fitting score for this one. Do I recommend it? Yeah, I highly recommend it. I think this one is a little bit difficult to find now, but that being said, if you can find it and you are a fan of Stormtroopers and Clone Troopers, then I definitely recommend you pick this one up. As always, my friends, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this figure? What do you think of our score of 8.5 out of 10? And if you guys had to rate this one out of 10, what score would you give it? If you liked the review, don't forget, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well. As always, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Keep collecting, stay safe, go buy some toys.